Well, howdy there, friends. Welcome back to Stein's Gates. Now, this episode I can actually talk about. I'm not in a rush to get through it. So, in the last time, we found that we have this main character, Hoen Kyoma, as he likes to call himself, the mad scientist. He's a little insane, a little out there, lives in a fantasy world, full of himself, egotistical, who's friends with a girl who's 2 years younger than him, Mayuri, and they've been friends since they were little. She seems like she's a cosplayer. She seems like she's a little more, like cutesy than womanly, she liked the little metal upa and everything. And then you have this gentleman right here, Daru. The three of them work together in some kind of... I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to go through the glossary for everything anyways. To start this episode off, but they work together. They're working against something called the Organization. And when he was going to Dr. Nakabachi's press conference, he said that they were in enemy territory. So I don't know if there's something to do with the Organization there. Must have, because when he met Mikise Kurisu, he thought that she worked for the Organization. So anyway, she apparently was killed. He thinks that she was stabbed. We don't know what happened. We don't know if she's even dead. But he found her body on the floor, ran out of there. Then everybody on the streets disappeared. Pardon that cut there. Took a sip of coffee. Went down the wrong way. People on the streets disappeared. And that was pretty much where we left off. And the satellite crashed into the building. I don't know if it was a satellite. It looked like that machine on top of the building. And I kind of believe that to be the time machine. I was thinking the explosion that happened was maybe Dr. Nakabachi teleporting back to that moment in time from a different time period. Don't know exactly. Other than that, the other main thing that happened was we received a weird text message. Not a text message, it was an email. And it was just a video that played static. And it didn't seem like much at the time, but I think that that's going to come into play sometime later on here. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the glossary and find out what all the things that we have, all the main, vocabulary words, if you want to call them that, what they all mean. So, alpaca. Yeah, if you don't know what alpaca is, here it is. A mammal, related to the camel. Yeah, blah blah, 50, yeah. Recently, alpacas can even be found in America and New Zealand. Unlike camels, alpacas do not have humps. Their bodies are covered with fluffy fur. Due to their strangely long necks and charming faces, they have some popularity as an ugly yet cute animal. Brawn tube. You'll see that some of these aren't new. That's because, like I said, in my last episode, I recorded up to this point before, and I looked at some of them in the glossary before, but I'm showing them all now. Another name for the cathode ray tube. This is Braun tube. This name is used more commonly in Germany and Japan. It comes from the name of the inventor of the cathode ray tube, Carl Ferdinand Braun. Capsule toy. A vending machine that dispenses small toys at random. One cannot tell what the toy is before opening the capsule. A lot of these don't seem very relevant to the story, what we're going through so far, but some of them are. Chunibyo. Literally 8th grade syndrome. A term referring to a mindset exhibited primarily by teenage males. Also used as a derogatory term to refer to older people who still exhibit this mindset. Characterized by an affected attitude of nihilism or cynicism, extreme self-centeredness, delusions of power superiority, and a consuming fear of being treated as a child. The person exhibiting these symptoms believes that they are cool, but most observers find them pathetic. So, this pretty much describes our main character to a T. If you remember from the last episode, his friend Daru referred to him as Chunibyo. And yeah, I would agree with him. Chunibyo, which is often abbreviated Chuni, also refers to the fictional tropes that teenage males often enjoy, such as ancient conspiracies, superpowers, especially powers sealed in a character's eye or arm, Norse mythology, battles for the fate of the multiverse, etc. The consummate Chunibyo case will work such elements into his own personal backstory. Ocarine is a textbook example. Yeah, there we go. Ocarine is the nickname that Mayuri calls the main character. Cosplay, probably familiar with that, an abbreviation of costume play, to dress up in costume, most often as a fictional character. People who cosplay are called cosplayers, which can be shortened to layers. Many cosplayers make their own costumes. Yeah. Going on, don't look at me. On the internet, it is an unwritten rule to say this whenever you see an image of someone or something looking towards the camera. Really? That's news to me. Dory. Word, used here as a suffix, meaning street. Electromagnetic wave, yep, just going to talk about the history. Waves that exhibit properties of both electricity and magnetism, first formally postulated by Maxwell in 1864. The electric field and magnetic field's oscillations cause them to mutually propagate each other, resulting in a wave that radiates through its surroundings. This is why it's called electromagnetic radiation. EM waves are divided by frequency into radio waves, infrared light, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, all those waves are the type of wave it is determined by the length of its wavelength. Yeah, I have a very amateur understanding of those. Let's see, John Titor, a self-proclaimed time traveler from 2036 who appeared on an American internet message board in November of 2000. The internet went into an uproar, flooding the board with questions and debate. Titor posted pictures of his time machine and its control manual, as well as diagrams illustrating time machine mechanics. He also disclosed information on near-future events, time travel physics, history intervention, the multiverse, timelines, and world lines. And then, 4 months after his appearance, he left a comment saying, "I will be leaving this world line shortly, and this will be my final post," and disappeared. Interesting. Moving on, nothing in M. Oh yeah, moe. A word used to describe character traits that are cute or endearing. Includes flaws such as glasses, clumsiness, or dizziness. Also used to refer to the culture of entertainment centered around characters who possess such traits. Pronounced moe, yeah. Offline meet. When members of an internet community meet in real life, okay? Otaku, a term for people with an obsessive interest in a particular topic. Hobbyists. Most often refers to fans of anime, manga, and video games, but there are also train otaku, military otaku, electronics otaku, etc. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it just meant people that loved like anime and manga and stuff. Rainet Kakaru. It's fictional. A popular manga serialized in Loco Loco Comics. The third season of the anime adaptation is currently airing on Toe TV. Although the series is ostensibly aimed at children, the realistic themes depicted also appeal to adults. More and more children are learning about the internet through this anime. It has reached the point where some scholars claim that children are better informed than their parents with regard to internet issues. Some people are even calling this new generation Rainet children. Some politicians and organizations have strongly criticized the series for encouraging children to become hikikomori by idealizing boys and girls who are obsessed with computers. However, a majority of adults praise the series for teaching children about the possibilities of the internet morality, copyright infringement, and privacy protection. This has contributed to Rainet's success. Although the series stimulates intellectual curiosity, it is not merely an educational program. As Kakaru battles terrorists in cyberspace, his techniques and programs are represented as virtual robots, while his enemies' viruses take the form of monsters. This makes the confrontations easy to visualize, which, with well-timed perspective changes, depicted both the protagonist's techniques inside the computer and his friend's teamwork outside the computer. Super Hacker. A tremendously skilled hacker, or at least someone who claims to be one. The threat, "my friend's a hacker, so he can easily find out who you are," often appears during arguments on the internet. People mockingly call the obviously non-existent hacker a haka. Seen one or two of those. The organization. Alright, so now we're getting into the story-driven stuff. The organization is the organization. Nothing more, nothing less. Its formal name is something else, but even uttering that name is a death wish. For that reason, all who know of its existence call it simply the organization. And the system. The system is the means by which the organization maintains its grip on humanity. Its full scope is too vast to comprehend, but suffice it to say that the system gives an organization influence over government, religion, media, culture, and science worldwide. Most people do not even know that their lives are controlled by the system. It is so deeply embedded in the fabric of society that modern civilization would not be able to function without it. Destroying the system, therefore, would plunge the world into chaos. Now, if you remember from the last episode, our main character here, Okarin, or Kiyoma, or whatever you want to call him, Rintaro, whatever, he was saying something about them wanting to destroy the system, which right here it says that would plunge the world into chaos. So we're not sure exactly what their main objective is yet. True name, the name that describes one's true essence. Soul name. Nothing else here. And 2D girl, I'll bet we can figure out what that one is. A female character in an anime game or manga, yeah. Talking about them kind of reminded me of Hifumi from Danganronpa. At Channel, Japan's most popular message board, covers a wide variety of topics from hacking to cooking to anime to current events. And that should be all of them. Yep, alright, so we've gone through all that, and now we only took forever, so we're going to go through a little bit more of the story here. She must be working on a cosplay costume. Over here, nursing a pricked finger, we have Shina Mayuri, a 16-year-old high school student, if you can believe it. I've known her since we were both small. She's also an otaku, nowhere near Daru's level though. This ditzy girl is in charge of the lab's official costume division for women, and today she's working on costumes at her usual leisurely pace. Why does the future gadget laboratory need costumes for women? It doesn't. The truth is that Mayuri is completely useless. Still, there's no way I would ever kick her out. After all, she was the first one to join the future gadget laboratory. Laboratory. Didn't even mean to say it like that. I still remember the day Mayuri first came to the lab. It was spring. She said to me, okay, so she's pretty naive too. Well, that certainly was cryptic. But her offer was my salvation, for she was the first to join me on my magnificent quest. She saved me from a solitary life on the run from the organization. I will never forget her kindness. Mayuri doesn't have to be useful. Her being here is enough. Pardon?
Yeah,
The human-faced alpaca inside the monitor was completely unresponsive. So unresponsive, you'd think the game was bugged. Whatever, I give up. Never again will I play this boring game. I curse his name and smack the TV. As soon as I do, the TV makes a sound like it's shorted, and then the screen goes blank. I change the channel. Nothing. Check the power cable. Nothing. Whack it again. Nothing. I guess it's broken. Damn. This crummy TV is unleashed from the brawn-tube workshop downstairs. It's probably just old. He's a mad scientist, right? Just fix that shit, bro. Repair it yourself, man. Gain some respect. I turn off the TV and lie down on the couch. I'm fed up with the humidity of Japanese summers. I stare at a conspicuous stain on the ceiling while fanning myself. I close my eyes, and what naturally comes to mind is that impossible scene I saw an hour ago. As I left Radio Kaikon, everyone vanished before my eyes. I can't explain it. And it wasn't just the people on the street. The people in the stores, gone. The restaurants, gone. Even the cars vanished, drivers and all. And it all happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, an empty city spread before me. I could still hear the music from the stores, but those catchy melodies were the only sounds of life remaining. Heat was rising from the asphalt in waves, but I felt only a cold chill down my spine. I just stood there, breathless, until Mayuri's voice brought me back to reality. See, now, why, if everybody disappeared, why is she still there? Because I feel like what I was starting to put together was that email he received when he opened it. I'm sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, super congested right now. So, I feel like it had something to do with him opening that email, something to do with that strange static-y video that he received. I could be very wrong, but that's my hypothesis in this situation. So why is she still there? Because she didn't have anything to do with that. She, if I remember right, I don't think she was even with him when he opened it. I don't know. Mayuri hadn't disappeared. Yeah, She was right there, looking at me with questioning eyes.
今人が消えたよな。消えただろ。今目の前で。
Panic took hold as the enormity of what just happened struck me. Unable to control myself, I grabbed Mayuri by her slender shoulders and shook her.
マユリも見たか。見たよな。
Mayuri's head flopped back and forth from my shaking. What? How did... Huh? I stopped shaking her and looked straight into her eyes. She returned my gaze with eyes clear as glass marbles.
見ていないのか。だってついさっきまでここにはたくさんの人たちが歩いていたんだぞ。
歩いてたかな。
それに店員まで消えている。こんなことはいくらなんでもありえない。
それは仕方ないと思うよ。
What? Her reply didn't make any sense.
とにかくね、最初からこの辺には誰もいなかったよ。そっか。オカリンは幻を見てたんだね。
Okay, that's a little interesting.
きっとこの暑さのせいだよ。トゥットゥルー。
How could she laugh at a time like this? I always thought she was a bit strange, but maybe her brain is actually broken. I realized that she couldn't help me. With nowhere else to turn, I looked up at the bright blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight. The scorching summer sun shone bright through the gaps between Akiba's buildings. Naturally, my eyes drifted to the top floor of Radio Kaikon, where I had just been a moment before. There it was, an enormous machine, like some kind of satellite, embedded in the roof of the building where, not 5 minutes before, I had found Mikise Kurisu's body in a pool of blood. Now, that looks a lot like the machine that we had originally found on the roof of the building after the explosion. Not sure what the connection is there yet. What happened to her? Just before everyone disappeared, I could have sworn I heard an ambulance siren. Mikise Kurisu might still be in that dark, narrow passageway, cold, bloody, and alone. The thought disturbed me, but the question at the forefront of my mind was, right before Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, the building shook like a bomb had exploded. The roof door lock had been broken, and beyond it, someone had placed a satellite-like machine, shrouded in smoke and glowing dust. When I first saw it, the satellite was on the rooftop. But that's not what I was seeing now. This satellite had penetrated the top floor of the building, obliterating the room where Dr. Nakabachi's press conference had been held. It must have fallen out of orbit without burning up in the atmosphere, somehow. I knew it was crazy, but what other explanation could there be? The real question was, when did that happen?
Mayuri, 人工衛星だ。
びっくりしたね。
びっくりしただと。何がびっくり？
ドカーンってすっごい音がしたもん。
A huge kaplow. It certainly did make a sound, but I don't think it was kaplow. I'd say it was more like zzz.
人工衛星は落ちてきたのか？
来たのかな？宇宙人さん乗ってるのかな？
Had I lost my mind? What I had seen didn't match at all with what Mayuri was saying. Suddenly, nothing seemed real. Had I dreamt it all? Just then, a uniformed policeman ran up to us, his expression stern. So not everybody has disappeared. There's still police.
ごめんなさい。
それより制服警官さん、仮にあなたを警官 A と名付けるが、一つ聞きたいことがあるんです。
Let's call you Officer A.
今ここで数千人の通行人が一瞬で消えたんです。あなたも見ましたよね？
見ていない。いいから早く出ていけ。
I was quickly losing confidence in my own memories. I decided to tell him about Mikise Kurisu and get him to call an ambulance, but before I could, the policeman took me by the upper arm and said, "No one got stabbed at Radio Kaikon." Huh. Ooh, the mystery, it's unfolding. How could he say that with such uncertainty? While I was still trying to comprehend the situation, the policeman forcefully led us away. We were escorted up to UPX and released, and we can check what UPX is right now, and then that will be the end of this episode. UPX. 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 It's not working. Is true name working? Okay, what? Eh? Okay, okay. Maybe it was working, I don't know. A major office building in Akihabara. Sorry about that. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.